Hello, and good morning. Peace and blessings be upon you this morning. I do thank you for tuning in to Poem Praise 2. And today we're going to move right along in the extraordinary African Americans. Today is Phillips Wheatley, a poet born 1753 to 1784, and it reads as such. Should you, my lord, while you pursue my song, wonder from whence my love of freedom sprung, whence flow these wishes for the common good, by filling hearts alone best understood, I, young in life, by seeming cruel fate, was snatched from Africa's fancy, happy seat. Now, these are the words of Phillips Wheatley, an African-born woman who was kidnapped by slave traders when she was about 8 years old and brought to Boston, Massachusetts in 1761. There she was bought by John Wheatley, a wealthy merchant tailor, as a lady's maid for his wife, Susanna. A small, frail child, Wheatley was well cared for, very intelligent. She learned English quickly and was taught to read. When she was 14, she began writing poetry. Her first work to receive widespread attention was on the death of the Reverend Mr. George Whitefield. When Wheatley's health began to fail in 1772, John Wheatley freed her and sent her to England. While there, she impressed several members of nobility. They arranged for her book, Poems on Various Subjects, Religious and Moral, to be published. Many prominent Massachusetts men, including John Hancock, signed the foreword of her book. Now, arrangements were made for Wheatley to be introduced to the King and Queen of England. Before the meeting took place, she received word that her former mistress, Susanna, was ill, so she quickly returned to America. When Susanna died in 1774, Wheatley remained with the family and kept house for John. She continued to write, and in 1775 published a poem dedicated to George Washington in Thomas Paine's Pennsylvania magazine. Washington was so impressed that he invited her to visit him at his headquarters in Cambridge, Massachusetts. Now, after John's death in 1778, Wheatley was forced to leave the house where she had grown up. Shortly thereafter, she married John Peters. He was frequently away, and the marriage was unhappy. Although in ill health, Wheatley had to work as a servant to support herself. 2 of her 3 children died shortly after they were born. On December the 5th, 1784, Wheatley passed away at the age 31. Her 3rd child died the same day. Now, Wheatley is remembered today because of her role in the development of African American literature. In an era of great prejudice, her sensitive poetry proved that blacks were equal to whites, both intellectually and emotionally, at a time when the fight against slavery often seemed endless. Wheatley's poems provided both hope and ammunition. So for Phillips Wheatley, I do thank you for tuning in to Poem Praise 2. To certainly proceed with me, subscribe to Poem Praise 2. I want you to have a wonderful morning, and in thy will, I will be talking with you soon. So I'll holler at you guys a little later. All right?